Welcome back, YouTube viewers, both of you. And this is the second half of the RX-78-2 Real Grade review. We already saw what this little guy can do, but what does he come with? What else are you paying for? Well, you're paying for stuff for him to pretend he's killing other mobile suits with. So we will start with the beam sabers, which your Gundam should always be carrying. And these come right out. Now, like I said, this is the one. Well, first let's get a little closer look. They got nice detail on these beam sabers, little rivets, even a little on-off switch right there, a tiny little sticker you put there just for fun. It takes a little lining marker to bring it out, but it's so totally worth it. Now, like I said, this is the smooth one, flat. You see the hole in the back, so you can't actually hold this properly. But you do get some with pegs, like this one. And see, big peg, and that fits into a hole in his hand. And you get two pink blades, and you just and and they're huge. And I guess this was a stylistic choice they made, because I mean, sorry, I know you're enjoying your downtime, Mr. Gundam, but let's get up here for a little quick point of reference here. Flatten those feet out. Stop doing the robot. Yeah, I know, the irony, but still. The beam sabers are bigger than he is by like a healthy margin. I mean, way bigger than he is. It's utterly ridiculous. I love it. Some people might say, oh, they're too big. Bull. You can never have too big of a beam saber. Alright, he will slash. I don't care, you can have him fighting Unicron in your toy collection, or the perfect Xiong, and he'll just bye. So that's the beam sabers. They look really nice. A little bit of bend, but not much. If you want to bend your beam sabers, always be careful. And these connections are tiny. I can imagine these breaking pretty easy if you're not careful, so be careful. You get the Gundam shield, and the shield is much better detailed than most, but it still has that giant retarded star that I don't know why they're there. I blame it on the fact that, you know, the people who made Gundam were thinking Super Robot when they did it. They didn't grasp the real robot thing yet. And as you can see, we've got a beam saber back here, and this is actually where you can store only the ones that have the hole. So that kind of sucks. You know, the ones that you've got extra storage for the ones that look nice and that he can't hold. Great. You don't have anything extra to do with the ones that look kind of bad and he can hold. But say you got a narrow little, this is a nice change from like those great big holes you always get with a shield. You just got this narrow little gash, and on his arm you have an equally narrow little gash, and you just push it in there. And it's not super strong. I don't think you can hold him by it. Oh, I'll be damned, you can. But, yeah, I mean, it's in there pretty well. And it will spin, but it's pretty tight. And it's on a track, so you can move it up and down, which is awesome. You've got the handle, and you can put it into his hand if you wanted to, but, I mean, it stays on his arm so well. You don't have to worry about it if you don't feel like it. Or if you want to have a beam saber on that hand or something instead. And that's nice. You get La Beamer rifle. Now, full disclosure here, folks. Beam rifle, the handle and this detail in here, it's all one part. That one part in the inside, and it's white. I done painted the bottom half gray and the top part chrome because I thought it looked better. And I don't know how well the camera shows it, but the gray is pretty lousy because I'm a pretty crappy painter. But it's a nicely detailed beam rifle. You got a little swivel up here, and some swivel down here, and you got this peg in the handle, which is kind of always out with mine because, like I said, I smeared paint all over it just because the white looks bad. But this comes out. You lift a hand, and you rotate a thumb out of the way so you don't break the blasted thing, and you do as nature intended. You shove the peg in the hole. You just push, and you're good. You could finagle the fingers, you know, to go in. I missed. and the paint's kind of coming off because I stink. There we go. And I mean, it's in there. You know, you spend a second, you can get the fingers all lined up perfectly. He holds it really, 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 really well. Look, the hand is going instead of letting go. So, beam rifle, big plus. If you don't paint it, well, it's gonna be white, but at least you won't have, you know, ugly paint. So, that's one. That's a plus. Put that aside. You also get, but wait, there's more. Guys, if the Gundam didn't blow up and destroy things enough between the sword, you get, well, between the sword and the beam rifle, you get the Hyper Bazooka. And this is probably my favorite weapon in terms of just looks. I mean, I kind of mislined the stickers here, but that was me. Because it comes in the white and the gray. It looks great. You know, the ultimate moves is this right here. For a little something extra, you've got white on the inside. Can you see that? Yes, I do believe you can. The missiles are actually a separate color. I mean, you could have painted it red or something, but, you know, I draw the line at how much detail I'm putting into these things because I'm just a minor hobbyist. You know, you want crazy paint jobs, go check out, like, you know, Prime 92 or something. Alright, he does the nutty paint jobs. Great reviews, too. But, yeah, love the Hyper Bazooka. It's got the exact same thing here in the handle. It's a little flip-out peg, which you can save yourself a lot of stress by leaving partially flipped out, like for toy reviews. Ha 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 ha. And you get his arm straight, and you try not to destroy him on the way out, on the way down, and you just push in. Oh yeah, nice solid connection, and there's just no fighting involved. You bend, you lift, and it's on. Alright, perfect over the shoulder. Not even stressing. Doesn't bother him in the least. Looks totally natural there. Alright, close the hand, and you're done. Looks great. Fantastic. And if you don't feel like doing that, if you just want to carry weapons without using them, you can come in the back here, you lift this, oh wait, pull down, and then you lift that one. So you kind of get this two-pronged hole in his butt, essentially. And you're going to take this one peg here, and it's not like super tight. Basically, you wedge it in there, and that little peg in the bazooka is pressed between the two sides of his back armor. And so you can have his Hyper Bazooka back there. And while I'm at it and I'm chatting, you know, you can take the beam rifle and put it over here, because he's awesome like that. There's no such thing as a Gundam with too many weapons. I think the Strike Freedom proved that to everybody. Gundams plus weapons equals win. You could take a shield and plug it over here. Oops, upside down. Wrong way. There we go. And your Gundam is just business. Alright, he's ready. Okay, Zeon does not stand a chance. Zeon thinks they're winning the war. They're wrong. They just don't realize it yet. And of course you can, you know, take your beam saber handles and put them back. Whatever. You get where I'm going with all this. You see where this is coming from. You're not stupid. You're watching me. You're obviously brilliant. So, that's the Gundam and his weapons. And that just looks pretty awesome. Like I said, remember to watch those feet, because if they're not flat enough, he can't hold himself up because they want to bend. But once you get him, he stays. The final little thing you get is the core block. But Felixman, you say to yourselves in complete dismay, how is the Gundam standing if the core block is over here? Well, you get a fake core block so that you can keep this one on the outside. And the core block, for anybody who does not know their Gundam, is a little mini, teeny, tiny transformer. And what you do is you lift up this fin, and you kind of hook your finger up there and you push back. And you come under here and you lift, and you pull, and you flip down these little panels. And heaven help us all, you have the world's tiniest, most adorable core fighter. I mean, look, oh. It's just barely bigger than my fingertip, and very well detailed for its size, I must say. Between the decals and the multiple colors of plastic used, it's great. The only thing it's missing is little missile pods don't open. I'll pass. I have no idea how that would work. It would probably like shatter just from looking at it funny. You get little tiny landing gear and little itty bitty things. Everything about the core fighter is itty bitty. I mean, I'm gonna be so paranoid about this stuff because frankly, I can already imagine myself, you know, turning my head and an errant dust bunny runs off with bits of my core fighter. But luckily I don't care too much about the core fighter. I mean, it's neat, it's really cute, it's kind of awesome, but I came for the Gundam and I stayed for the bazooka. So yeah, this is kind of an afterthought to me. It's just a nice one. You know, it's well executed. That I personally am not a huge fan of the core fighter. It's not the core fighter's fault. So yeah, you put the little landing gears on there, and down it goes. And look, you got the Gundam and its core fighter. Oh, it's so sweet. You also get fists. Just fists. The posable hands that I have equipped on them aren't good for making a fist. They just don't do it very well. Given how much you lose by putting these on, I don't know how common it will be. And you also get something for an action base. I don't own an action base, but basically, this square goes onto an action base, and this goes in where the bazooka currently is, right here, in the back. And bleh, and that. And you're supposed to be able to do aerial stuff, but I don't own an action base, so I can't show you. If I ever get one, I'll make a point of it. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, well, I seriously doubt there's any ladies, but people watching, is the Gundam. How big is the Gundam? The Gundam is pretty small. Here is a deluxe transformer, classic seeker mold. This be Skywarp, high Skywarp. As you can see, the heights are similar, but the bulk is totally different. Skywarp is much burlier than our little Gundam, even though in reality, you know, the Gundam is much bigger, but they're toys, and, well, there's no such thing as a real Gundam, unless you visit certain parts of Japan, those lucky... And to hit closer to home, here is the Zagak E, also in 1 to 1/44 scale, and, for the record, this is... I don't own many 1 to 1/44 scale high grades, but I love this one, because, you know, it's darkness incarnate and evil and pain and death, and he and the Gundam will eventually, inevitably, kung fu fight to the finish till there is only one left standing, because only one can survive. So, that's the Gundam, and everything that comes with it. The negatives, let's be fair here. The skirt armor pops off the drop of a hat. That kind of sucks. The feet bend a little too easily, so it doesn't always stay up perfectly, you just gotta pay attention. And these stickers, awesome as they look, these bronze stickers on the backs of the legs and on the forearms, do not want to stay. I had to super glue mine. Maybe if you're some sort of sticker guru, you'll have better luck than I did. But yeah, those are the negatives. Positives, every blasted other thing. Okay, sure, some of the little parts are fragile. You gotta be careful with your fingers. You're gonna pop them off when you're moving them. And, you know, he's just so small that you worry about hurting him, but for what he gives you, unparalleled posability for his size, great bang for your buck. I mean, for 2,500 yen, for 26 bucks, you're not getting much better than this. Alright, the best you can do for direct competition is a Master Grade Gundam from G Gundam. So, if the Shiny Gundam or the God Gundam rocks your world, buy those Master Grades first because they cost exactly the same and they're much bigger. Beyond that, this is an awesome little Gundam. He's great. He's fantastic. He gives you 110% with so very few drawbacks. He looks fantastic. I mean, this is just with decals and panel lining, folks, you know. Like I said, my paint jobs are actually pretty crappy, so, you know, I didn't cheat to make him look this awesome. This is just a little bit of work. And he looks fantastic. I would so recommend getting him. Just remember that he's not really for beginners. Lots of tiny parts. You need to know your instructions. You gotta have a rough idea of what your Gundam is doing before you do it when you're building him. Some awesome figure. Well, kind of a subpar toy because model kits are never awesome toys. They're not durable enough. So, that's it. I'm done. I'll be back again sometime soon with a review of something completely different because I don't want to just do Gundam models. Don't worry, I will never actually review Transformers. There's better people than me for that. So, see you guys next time.